Most people think courage is about taking action, doing the difficult thing, taking a leap, making a big decision. Very often, courage shows up before any of that. And this is what we're going to talk about today. Hello and welcome to Unbox the podcast. I'm Sahar Palmer, intuitive life mentor and your host. This season is about the courage to be you, to show up and to stay true. Not to perform change, not to force growth, but to participate consciously in who you are becoming. Courage drives change because courage is what allows something inside you to shift. You're constantly growing and your life is constantly changing. And this is why life keeps calling you to have the courage to be you, the real you. So let's start by grounding what courage actually is. Courage is not personality-based. It is not confidence. And certainly it is not force. Courage is a change agent, an inner permission to let something shift, something within you to shift. Change happens to all of us through age, through loss, through success, through endings, through career change or transitioning into a new position. But self-led change begins when you participate rather than react. That participation is courage. Here are some signs that courage is calling you. It shows up when the body tightens, when it doesn't want to return to the same position you are experiencing or going through. It shows up when what you feel no longer matches the story you keep telling yourself, whatever that might be. It shows up when a belief you hold is no longer valid, no longer justifies what's happening. When that happens, the system begins to reorganize around what is real now. Not what used to work, not what looks acceptable, but what is real. One of the mistakes people make is thinking there is only one kind of courage. That isn't so. For some people, courage is movement. For others, courage is not about moving, but about stopping. Sometimes courage is having a conversation. Sometimes it is choosing not to have one. Sometimes courage is saying yes. Very often, courage is saying no. Courage helps you align one step at a time with who you are becoming at that point in time. Very often, courage is not loud, nor is it dramatic, and it is not always visible to others. It can very well be a small step that you've never taken before, like acknowledging how you feel right now or how you think at that moment. Sometimes it shows up like not pushing, not proving, not continuing a habitual response. For example, courage is sometimes choosing not to override your body. Sometimes it's letting yourself feel sad instead of staying busy. Other times it can be admitting you're angry instead of calling it stress, or unhappy, acknowledging your disappointment instead of staying positive, or even allowing grief instead of holding everything together. We all do that at some point or another, consciously or unconsciously. Sometimes courage is saying, "This hurts," and stopping there. That's courage. Now let's talk about how courage shows up across the 4 dimensions of change. In my intuitive mentoring work, which I hope by now you're familiar with my process. Courage often shows up first in the body because the physical body is your first destination point, if you like. The body might tighten, it might feel fatigue, restlessness, you might find yourself fidgety or pulling away from what you used to tolerate. Your body doesn't negotiate. That's the thing. It sends you signals, and courage is listening. The next dimension is emotions. Emotionally, courage shows up when fear appears. Fear is not an obstacle. Fear means something matters. It's hitting a point within you. You need to expand, to go outside your comfort zone. Courage here is not calming your fear down, it's allowing fear to inform you so that you can accept what you're going through or become aware of it. Listening to that signal is courage. In the mind and belief system, courage shows up as doubt, not confusion, doubt. The kind that asks, is this still true for me? Stories, for example, like not yet, or I'll do it later, or this isn't practical, or even no, I'm not ready for this now. Courage is noticing when those stories no longer fit. Then comes accountability to action. Not a full plan, not perfection or reinventing yourself or reinventing things, but taking courage or allowing courage to come through you one step at a time. Giving yourself one permission, allowing yourself one honest adjustment. That is enough courage. Let me give you a real example from my work. A woman came to see me because she wanted to change her career. She kept asking me, what should I do next? What should I do next? But every time we spoke about her options, her body shut down. Through our work, it became clear that courage was not in changing careers yet. The courage was in stopping, taking a pause, stopping overworking, stopping proving herself, stopping measuring her worth through her output or her income or her bonuses. Once she allowed rest and emotional honesty, clarity flowed naturally. The career change happened much later, but it wasn't forced. That courage as a change agent in her finding her balance first. That is courage as a change agent in her finding her balance first. Courage doesn't require working on everything. One or two areas at a time is more than enough. You can work on voice, on relationships, on your body physical needs, on your desires, on time and how you spend it, or on facing old patterns, finding your purpose, for example. You don't need to fix your entire life in one go. You just need to listen, to become aware, so that you can calibrate in order to find balance and alignment one step at a time. Stopping can be courage when it's conscious. To be aware of what's happening in your life, to see the patterns, you need to stop taking it personally. Instead, zoom out, step all the way back and observe objectively, with curiosity, what's going on. The big picture will definitely emerge and you will understand where you are at, and afterwards you zoom in to act. Before we close, I want to offer you something gentle, a gentle shift. Courage doesn't need overanalysis. It can be felt or sensed. In a moment, I will guide you through a short meditation to help your system recognize where courage is already present. I'm also creating a longer version of this meditation so that you could return to it whenever you need grounding and clarity. It will allow you to work more deeply, and I will add a link in the show notes of the episode, so do visit and check it later. Now, if you can, otherwise do it later, take a very deep breath and let it fully out all the way. Let go of any expectation and mentally, with your mind's eye, scan your body. Look inwards and scan from head to toe. You're looking for anything that attracts your attention. And ask yourself, where does your body feel tight today? Don't analyze, just sense or notice. When you've spotted, ask yourself quietly, what is courage asking me right now? Don't answer, just listen. Listen, tune in to any changes or sensations. You are courage in action. Not heroic, maybe not perfect, but you are responsive. And I hope you've become aware that your body responds immediately. Thank you for spending this time with me on Unbox the podcast. If this episode resonated, please remember to follow and subscribe. It also helps the work to reach people who are really ready. This season is about the courage to be you, to show up, to stay true. Until next Tuesday, this is Sahar wishing you a courageous week.